Hey, yeah, that was much smoother. Welcome. Welcome to the LFM TV, aka also known as hashtag SPTV. Here I am. Here we are again. Thank you all for joining. Bubs again just chose to sit right there, Bubbies. Yeah. Welcome, guys. I'm so happy we are doing this. I do gotta say, oh boy, do I gotta say, after the stream the other day, was it yesterday? I hadn't realized that I was like in this. I can't even describe it. It was like having a slow panic attack from going and recalling so much of the past. I just was so exhausted. I went, not a panic attack. I was just exhausted. I could feel myself going through something. And wow, just got to say. So I went to bed, had crazy Sea Org nightmares. So I'm really hoping that I'm sure some of y'all out there who've been doing these can understand and relate. I'm like, the only thing that's helping me also keep going through all this is that I know there's other people doing this. And I'm like, they must have been going psychologically through the same things. Are any of you out there having crazy ass dreams about just the past and all that? All that came up. So yeah, but that's life, huh? So welcome, everybody. I'm so happy about this. This is good, though. I could feel good about it all, you know? Oh, yes. I'm learning also how to use the comments better, and I hope you like the introduction. Beautiful help from my fellow SP TV community. Oh, my goodness. Awesome. Goldie's here. Thank you, guys. This is great. All right. So this is episode 2. Episode 1 was the beginning. And it still feels like the beginning, but we did get through a bunch of, I guess we would call it the life timeline, my life timeline. Oh, you know what it was called? Life history. Yeah. What was your life history? Which had to include everything. Anyways, okay. We'll get to that too. Woo. Everything's got me a little excited, nervous, therapy. Cheers to all y'all. I've got my apple juice here. So let's get into this. So episode 2, this whole big world in my head, we're calling it the Int Ranch. I did talk about a lot of the kind of timeline on the first episode. Went through some ups and downs mentally, even going through that. And this time I wanted to just focus so that people can get an idea of the kids at the ranch, like their normal schedule, their daily routines, what was normalized, what was taken away, etc. Just so that someday in the courts and someday when this does all come as it shall, it's on the record. We have it all on the record. So I'm sure the other thing, every kid that went to any cadet org has very similar experiences, but totally traumatically different. People have so it's like intense. It's like, you know, you can hear my stories and I can hear other cadet stories, but it's like, I feel completely like, oh my God, I'm, you know, it's at one point I'm telling the story and then the other point I'm receiving the information from like another cadet, most of them being my friends now. And we're just relating and talking and I break down just listening. And I'm like, oh my God, this reminded me of this, or, you know, and they're two totally different stories. But so I just know that at least for me, being a cadet from the Int Ranch specifically, having their own specific rules and having their own policies and things shown to us at times that maybe even other cadets didn't have to experience in other organizations. It was crazy. It was more intense. I don't know, more is different. But I just want to validate. That's the key here. I just want to validate all the other kids and children who have been going through this and who are out and who are literally still feeling physical, psychological attacks, or, you know, through a random day or on their job, or something just triggers them. And this is why. This is what has happened. We'll go over it, but this is what has been the norm for children that were born into this or were raised in it, and why it was okay for them to be the way they were and not even realizing it by 13 or 14 after they do go out into the real world, you know? So therapy, but also let's get it on the record, and also let's do something like about this. Like, if we need to bring this to court, and it helps to get other kids and children's stories out there, and I'm going to do that. If me doing this does that, which it's already doing, then it's energized me no matter what I'm going through when I go to bed after the interview. Like, that means it's healing me. It's healing a lot of people. So I just really freaking appreciate you. And I appreciate the kids and the cadets that are watching this, and that do watch this, because I'm being honestly super vulnerable, because it's like the only freedom and the only outlet that I see that has always been the best for me. It's always done me right. It's always showed exactly what was happening, so somebody else can see, oh, okay, this is the truth. This is what's happening. She's being totally vulnerable. And hopefully we can get a lot of people to do that as well. Okay. So I guess I want to start by just kind of, and I want to try while I'm doing this to interact in the questions and all that. And so let me go from the bottom. And yes, anybody can help me. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I didn't even know you could go live. Yes, thank you, Alex and Jazzy J. All you guys, it makes it fun for me and creative, and it doesn't make it like, oh, I have to go learn a computer thing and all that. It just, I'm already feeling super blessed, and it's super supportive, and it just makes me want to go out and do that for everybody else. Okay, let's get to the storytelling. And also, I'm going to keep this short. As short as can be, because I also do not want to overload my body and stuff like that. Again, it was a long 2 hours, and thank you guys for being so patient with me and going through what I was going through and listening, because kids didn't get to be listened to. And that's what triggers us a lot, is when we do put out our stories and when they get taken away and we're being vulnerable and so yes. So, yeah, I guess I was just saying, you get it. Okay, let's start. So here I want to just start with like a regular week, Monday through Friday. Okay, so right there, that's already something that's different. Our week was not Monday through Friday. Our week, I would say, was kind of like Monday to Thursday, and Thursday before 2 o'clock. I'm not sure what, oops, I have to stop learning. I have to learn to not bump the table. I'm not sure why 2 o'clock Thursday. Somebody in the Sea Org or one of y'all elderly XSO SPs can tell me about this. But Thursday before 2 was the end of our week. It would be like a Friday, 5 o'clock for the WOG world, the real outside world. So a Monday through Thursday would be the week. And I say that for the Int Ranch cadets specifically, because then Saturday ended up being a full renos day, where renos, we just Saturday renos was basically heavy, what they called messed work, but I'm just going to say heavy work, which most of the time we did anyways, but it would just be the full Saturday would be all-day renos, which we copied from the Gold Base Sea Org members who were also doing that. So Saturdays, I believe, forever at Gold Base and almost maybe in all the other orgs and the cadet orgs, now that I'm thinking about it. Saturday, Renos Day would be like all day heavy work, painting, whatever, scrubbing, disgusting stuff, all day long. You would have projects and you would have to get them done. And kids from coming to the ranch, the youngest kid that I know that came to the Int Ranch was 3.5, maybe 3 years old. Like, I'm pretty sure that was Susie or Jesse Dunstan or somebody. Anywho, I also want to do a list of names of the kids. Every single kid that I know was at the ranch. So I might do that just on a separate YouTube video so it doesn't completely bore everybody and take up all the time. But it's super important because it will be a record of every kid that was actually at the Int Ranch. And other families from across the world that have, who knows, wondering about them. I've been saying this, can reach out to me and ask me, what happened with them in between those years. So, okay. So, wow, I wish I had like a little setting in here that would be like, okay, the last thing you were talking about was this, but I do have my notes. So I'm just going to stick to the week right now. So Saturday was Renos Day. We'd work all day long. And then also on Saturday nights was like after the long day would be either you could go to the pool if you finished your project and you got in pass in an inspection, you were allowed to go to the pool. And I swear, like the pool at the Int Ranch was like my freedom. I really loved. So I really hated it when that was taken away from me. We were always burning up hot. We most of the time had sunburns, like from working all day. And at one point we thought it was cool to like have tank tops so that and even certain small little bras, which that gets off to other things, but little bikini things so that we would get burned thinking like, oh, look at my tan. Look at, we thought it was like a cool thing. Kids. Anyway, so we would be so hot just because we were really working all day. And most of us were really trying to finish the project and do it well at the same time. So we didn't get flunked or whatever. And then just to be able to go to this pool. So yes, the pool at the Int Ranch. I'm sure a lot of cadets watching this will be laughing and be like, yeah, I did like the pool. And these were the moments that a lot of cadets will go, well, it wasn't that bad. Because we had these moments of freedom. You know what I mean? Okay, sorry. Let me also, keep an eye on all this. I also can just probably scroll through the comments at the end so that I don't lose track of my own mind and space. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. And I hope I either answer questions. That might be better because then maybe I'll answer questions on the way as well. Okay. So Saturday Reno. So that was the pool. Pool was the thing. After the pool would be like quickly go change and then go to dinner. And then at dinner time, we would have cookie. Like there was dessert. Saturday night dessert. I'm sure that's like, oh my God. Saturday night dessert. And even that was, my sister was the one who ran all that at the Int Ranch because she was more ethical than me. So she had the services secretary position and in the division, I think 3 or 2, I'm messing it up. But she was the service secretary in the cadet org. So she ran all the food and the toast line. That's another thing. Oh my God. We'll go right back to that. And dishes and who like ran the schedule of what cadets. So my sister being a cadet was running the whole galley and the system of who would do what and who, hey, if somebody didn't show up, she would have to go get them, find out what happened and whatever. Right. But she also ran the dessert line. So Saturday night or evening after dinner was dessert and cookies. And these were made by the Gold Base galley, like Panuccio actually is his name. Nucci, he was the baker, so he baked all the cakes or whatever for the Gold Base for the Sea Org, and he was in the Sea Org, so it wasn't like we were getting our cakes out from the outside world. we're doing this. Also, at the Int Ranch, there's when we go working and, you know, building and cleaning up the property, we're actually going to a farm. We're going to, like, not a farm, we're making a farm where everything we're doing is taking straight from, you know, desert soil and turning this into amazing organic vegetables of all kinds of sorts. And all this gets, like, amazing stuff, by the way. Anything, turnips, corn, you name it, we grew it all. And we were very proud of this. I felt very proud, even though I was going through all this other hell of things. Working and doing something with soil and, like, with the plants was like, I was like, huh, oh, they're going to force me to work. Then, like, oh, at least it felt like I would never call it therapy, but at the time it felt like therapy. Doing all this felt so fun. And I felt fun as like, and then I felt like, oh, I am an adult. See, look at me. I'm really enjoying this work. So it was like really twisted how our minds, even as children, weren't like just appreciating soil as being fun. And it just really connected to us anyways, at least for me. I really loved gardening. I loved, you know, cleaning and sweeping I loved building the rock walls. All of that was really fun. It's just that it would be fun like that if you were in prison. If you went to prison for doing something really bad and then you were made to do all this work, that would be a different scenario. Then you could feel like, I don't know. I feel like, but that's how it felt as a natural child. So we're just, again, I can't like emphasize this. Whether we're kids and certain moments are fun, we are literally being in this suppressed helmet bubble of like, this is all you can think and do, but go ahead and have as much fun as you can in here. And so then when you're finally leaving Scientology years and years and years later, even not Scientology, when you're finally getting approval to leave, which means you're still Scientologist because you're still following the rules on how to leave instead of just fucking leaving. Like your brain is still doing the thing, you know, so you're still a Scientologist with this suppressed helmet on your head all the time as you're trying to leave. And then when you do leave into the outside world, you still have this helmet. Nobody else can see it though. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're like, oh, there, you know, you can just tell when somebody's still a Scientologist. So even when you leave, we still have the same language. I can hear somebody come like, hey, don't cut my comm. That's a sign. So I'd be like, oh, she's young. Oh, she must be a Scientologist. Oh, her parents, I would just immediately know, oh, she has relatives or her parents, or she grew up in the cadet org. And that's how it was so easy for other cadet orgs to become friends with other kid cadets who were completely separate and at totally different cadet orgs to know the other cadets later on. Because it would just be like, oh my God, you were at Pack Ranch. Oh, okay. Oh, you were in Florida. Oh, okay. So yeah. Okay, staying on track. Wow, I don't even know how I got that far sidetracked, but it's still good. So yeah, Saturdays, cookies, Saturday nights. And then I think on Saturday nights, at one point at the Ant Ranch, they did have it where the kids would go in the van, the one run from the ranch, that we would all load up with our little, like, I don't know, a shirt or whatever. And in the middle of the night, I remember being I forgot about all that. Wow. All the times I would be walking across and my dad would like be holding me. And anyways, so they would get on the run and then pick us up and then bring us back to their dorms that were about 15 minutes away. They were close to the Gold Base, but a little bit off. They were called the Devonshire, I think. The Kirby, Devonshire, and there was some other place. Anyways, so that felt a little bit like, oh, this is, but you go to the apartment and it's literally, I say literally a lot, literally, because I mean, it's literally an apartment that three couples, that married older couples that also have kids, or they don't have kids. My mom didn't, but I knew other parents that the other parents they shared the apartment with did have kids from the ranch. So I was like, oh, you're right down from, you know, Susie's mom or whoever. Anyway, so they would have three couples sharing this apartment all together. in a 1-bedroom apartment or a 2-bedroom, or you'd be lucky if mom and dad got so they would convert maybe a living room, and it would be like way more space for the other couple, but the other parents would have that room. And anyway, so we would sleep on the floor, and my mom would pull out the little TV. She was like, she had this little TV in the closet that, I'm not kidding, it was probably smaller now that I'm thinking of it, because as a child, I thought it was this big. And I can't tell you how many times I've reviewed videos and went back to the Int Ranch and saw things. And I thought, oh my God, the perception, my body must have been so small when I was watching it for me to think it was that big. So anyways, my perception of the time was thinking that this TV was like this big, and she would pull it out of the closet, and then we would pull the antennas up, and we were able to watch Tom and Jerry, because we could get that, and then at certain points she got a VHS player and was able to play. We were addicted to either like Aladdin. There was like, I watched Aladdin over and over and over again. I don't know if that was just because it was like one of the okay approved films, or my mom and dad just didn't have very many other. Or maybe I just loved Aladdin so much. I don't know. But we would eat Saturday nights those delicious chocolate chip cookies, really big. And my mom would get salt and vinegar chips. And we would just sit there on this kind of clean carpet-ish, because my mom and dad were pretty clean. Like when we went over there, they would always give us the blankets and like whatever they could and make it fun, whatever. So we would just watch, a movie and then fall asleep. And then in the morning, we'd wake up and I would help them clean, because they would have to clean. They're still technically on CSP, which is like cleaning ship's quarter or something like that. I forget. Cleaning projects. Who cares? So it was cleaning time, but the kids were allowed to hang out, I guess, a little bit at the time, remember. So this was just Saturday night, and eventually this does stop. But these moments were so precious, which also is why kids constantly stay connected to their parents intensely with just tiny moments of joy, and the rest of neglect. Like there can be neglect and the child hold on to just those moments of joy because they're not experienced to know that the other pockets are the responsibility of the parents to be filling. They don't know those pockets. They've never experienced it. They just know, oh, every time I see mom, I love her smile. I love how happy she is to see me. And dad is funny and he always makes jokes, and we go play basketball and, whatever, right? Okay, getting sidetracked again. But so yeah, little moments. There we go. Boom. So having these little moments of joy. So Saturday nights and the cookies and the salt and vinegar chips. These were like just precious moments, and our moms would tickle our backs and tell us stories after the movie. Okay, gotta go to bed. And we would be so full from dessert. And so I do remember these when I was younger, like maybe around 5 and 6-ish, maybe 7. And then eventually it became Sunday morning at the Int Ranch that the parents, once they quickly finished their CSP and got, their approval to come on the bus run, the one bus is like an old little 1990, 80s van or whatever. Dodge Ram, like little square van, picking us up. And then, and eventually we did get a school bus, which made us look more like a school. Like y'all getting, we're not going, okay, we'll get there, but don't get sidetracked, Lara. Lara. So the van picks up. Now the thing is, the van picks up the adults, the parents of the kids, of the cadets, and brings them to the Int Ranch. And then we can hang out at the Int Ranch for 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And then the parents and all the adults, the parents of the kids go back on the one run, the van, which then was a bus, to back to the Gold Base. So they leave from their dorms on this thing once they get approved from their own CSP. So they're rushing and quickly, and they've already had no sleep from the night before because they've already been, like dealing with whatever last jobs they had to do before they got home that night. So they're super tired. So they're rushing to get to the ranch to see their children. And then because they only have 2.5 hours to be with them, and they got to go back and be there back on by the lunch to eat lunch, and then have their muster and get back to post for the rest of the week. So that was it. That was the Sunday with parent time, and between Saturday night and Sunday for a child at the Int Ranch, that was the time that maybe once a week for 10, 11 years of the kids' lives at the Int Ranch, if they made the run and if they got approved, there were many times where that didn't happen, or somebody got RPF'd or whatever. And so a kid now has no parent coming to them for that week or months or a year because they're on the RPF. So it's like I can feel it. I'm like, oh, I can remember all the kids being so upset, including myself. But I don't know. I guess I was a little tougher. But still, it's just like now I'm like, this is so ridiculous. Looking back, like, why do kids have to go through that? Why for so long on their heads, on their, So, yeah, it was just Sunday mornings. And then they go back. And then right after they go back on their run back to the Gold Base, the kids have to go eat lunch, like go to lunch, and go change out of their civilian clothes, because that's also the only time you're allowed to be in the civilian clothes is on Saturday, Reno's Day, which changed later as well. But on Saturday was Reno's Day, when you can wear civvy clothes because you're going to do a lot of heavy work or whatever, and you can be comfortable. I guess I don't know why they did that. Saturday, maybe we tore up all our uniform because we were doing all these heavy projects, and they couldn't afford to just buy us new 99-cent 10-pack shirts of Hanes white t-shirts. Like, I don't know. Okay. Sidetracker. So yeah, after they left on Sundays, it was right back to lunch, then muster, and you better be in uniform. And Sunday afternoon, we go to study, which is Scientology studies. In fact, they say there's some policy, and somebody help me find it, where they say the cadets or the kids must get 6 hours or 6 to 10 hours or something like that of Scientology studies. He's not talking about like history or anything like that. It's specifically of Scientology studies. So anyways, what we were doing is most of the time it was like 4 hours of Scientology studies and then 2 hours of academics, which was like anything else, or it was 2 hours of mathematics as well. So you're doing math, or you're doing your academics, like a research project or whatever, for 2.5 hours, whatever. But then the other time you're doing 4 hours of TRs, training drills, reading L. Ron Hubbard's Hubbard Qualified Scientologist, and like learning communication courses for children. And you're slowly, basically what I'm trying to say is you're slowly grooming. You're slowly getting groomed from a little, as you have been this whole time, to become that future Scientology Sea Org executive, which is the exact whole plan for all these Int Ranch cadets. That's what we were told. You need to get your guys' shit together. By the way, these kids, including myself, we swore like fucking crazy. Our natural language be like, no, don't fucking do that. Give it to me. Like literally, our normal child attitude was a very tough boy, no femininity, not allowed, no like flirting, no tootie flowing, no nothing. There was no softness involved. Even from parents and teachers that were adults, like Sea Org members, they were Sea Org members, but they were put in charge as like being a teacher or with no credentials. There was maybe 1 or 2 people on that base the whole time, the imp base, that actually had some sort of background, like teacher, like knowledge or some sort of certificate of some sort. Other than that, it was just made up teachers who were once cadets who got old to 18 and were still fucking really illiterate. And then they were made adults because they happened to turn 18 so that they could then become a teacher to show the other kids how to be like them. Like, so it's a constant cycle of completely taking a human's heart and trying to make a robot out of them from birth. But they still have a heart and they still have a soul and they still have a spirit, and that grows and they learn. And so it's just like, it's impossible. Of course you're going to call me out ethics. Of course I'm a bad cadet. Oh, that brings me, let me throw in a little, this is good. Now I can check myself. Okay, it's 6:33, guys. We're doing good. I want to throw a little shout out there. My good friend Catherine, who I've talked about a few little times, and she was one of the people I was definitely couch surfing and stealing and eating all their food and shit. When I left the cadet or the Sea Org and stuff. They are the Degraded Daughters and Catherine are doing a I think it's July 1st. Yes, I think it's July 1st. Go to Degraded Daughters and Catherine Spallino or the Bad Cadet. And they're doing a book reading, a book, whatever. They're doing a book club thing. And I'm so excited to see that. And I'm definitely going to watch it and be a part of that. But yeah, so back to the Bad Cadet, like that's what it is. It's you're going to automatically become this Bad Cadet and you're going to have Catherine writing a book about it. So they can, if you conform something in a certain way and assume that you're going to have this like demand, like just an assumption of how this child's going to live their life, mom, dad, like they're anything they do that's just themselves and they want to have fun is going to be an argument or a resentment or an out ethics thing instead of just being me and my wild, crazy daughter self. What's wrong with that? Like, why do we want 7 billion Scientologists? That's fucking insane. There's no creativity in that. There's no artist. There's no soul. That's soldier-like. That's insane. Anywho, okay. Okay. Better get my TRs in before I lose it. All right. So back to the weeks. So we got, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were just standard basic production days, which is not, I'm saying a standard normal day for ranch cadet org lifestyle, which is like wake up at 6:30. If you come out of uniform, you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get a KR and then you do this and it's going to add up because you're not being a good cadet. Or disciplinary actions would be like, you're going to get spanked you're going to get a bare butt spanking 3 times. One spanking is 3 fucking really hard slaps. Somebody demanded and said, when you spank them, because there were certain teachers that even had kids that were in the governance group or the cadet org, and they obviously had a heart and were like, I don't want to spank. So there was Ann Weber. She wouldn't hit as hard. And then over time, she ended up, and all of them just ended up fucking hitting really hard because somebody told them you're doing it lighter. So they want to get the spankings from and so they all ended up getting really rough and really hard and really aggressive. So it would be 3 very fucking hard slaps where you would actually see, you would like feel I would feel, oh my God, getting a little emotional. You would feel the handprint, like the inflamed fingers on the butt and in all different things. That's how hard, like, so it was like really a fucking crazy shock. So bend over on the knee, bend over, bare butt, spank for one spanking. That was one spanking. So this happened multiple times where kids would have tantrums, as you would call it, or like would be banky. And so they would be pulled in front. They used to do it in front of everybody. And then I guess when it started to get like really like a lot harder or whatever, they would, I don't know actually who changed that rule to pull it inside, probably some pervert. So they went inside and you would just hear like, and then screaming and ow. And sometimes during the spanking, it was so intense that our natural language would swear. We'd be like, fuck, or fuck, ow, shit, or whatever. Like, and that would be another one. So they started to get really intense with like in the governess group, where like if you swore, that was a spanking. If you backflashed a teacher or an adult in any way, they said, oh, you're back, that's a spanking. Sometimes if you didn't get your targets done in time, you would have to like line up for your spanking. I need to get this together, guys. Okay. So it really keeps you in this like track of like, when you do want to do something fun or creative, you have to like sneak off. You have to like run away. You have to go do something. And then you get in trouble for it, you know? But at least in that moment, you had some sort of fun and it felt really good. So that's the next thing. I want to get into blowing. The word blowing. Like if somebody blows the property at the Int Ranch, which happened a lot of kids blew, or they would, or as you would say, if they are in the middle of doing it, you'd be like, okay, the kid's blowing the property, they're running up the waterfall, or whatever the fuck, you know? And so there's three things here in this blowing situation. When a kid wants to blow or run away, security, that's under security. It's not under like, I don't know. There was no position. Like it's not even under a teacher or a nice adult or a nanny if they had that at, you know, at the Inn Ranch, anything like that. It was just now security's on it because they're running off and blowing the property. And they have cameras all over the properties, on the mountains, by the gates. When you enter the gate, they can see, they have there's not one part of the property that security couldn't see. There might have been angles and stuff like this, definitely, which we're going to go into a little bit later on maybe another episode of things. But there was many times where blowing to us became an adventure. Like sometimes we would be like, okay, we're going to prepare to blow. Then we're going to talk to people. We would hear like, okay, when are things happening? Okay, we're going to do it this time. It would be like me and Sarah Leobard. It would never be more than 3 people. That's like 3 would be no. So it was always 2 people or 1. Like somebody was just losing their mind and they fucking ran off. So blowing consists of security running, you know, the whole blow drill. They call it a blow drill. And so, by the way, anything that happened at the Gold Base in terms of rules, like the blow drill or fire drill or any of that, was transferred immediately once it was running at the Gold Base as a thing, was transferred and done to the cadets, so that we were already trained and ready to do what has already been put in front of us to do in our lives. So security, cameras. The other thing about the Int Ranch is you're not allowed to just pick up a phone and call. There's one phone in the main office, the adult main office, and then there's one phone in the security office. Those are the only phones on the Int Ranch base property. So even if you went to go pick up the phone to call, let's just say a family member, because there's no way we're calling the police. I mean, actually, there were moments of that for sure. And there were moments of it from kids just doing it because they were just curious if the phone would go through with just calling 911. You couldn't pick up the phone and just call a number, even if it was a family member and you're like knew their phone number verbatim. There was a code on the phone to call out. So blowing, right? So you have these kids blowing, running away. Oh, let me just make a note of this. So you have the kids blowing away, security camera. You have the security guards on their fucking motorcycles, dirt bikes, in case you go running off in the mountains, which I did plenty of times. And they're like, they're coming to get you and get bigger guys to call in on the radio. So they have walkie-talkies and radios to be able to be like, Cat, come in, or whoever it is. And they all have code names, and they're just there. They know where to go, da, da, da. And security is watching you, or he can just see on the cameras where you were last seen and what direction you could have gone in. Or, for example, what happened to me once, I was like, cool, never doing that again. I walked toward the Indian dump because I was just like, oh, nobody wants to walk toward the dump. But if I go to the dump, then maybe I can get out without them. No, anyways, I went to the Indian dump and I was kind of mesmerized by all the car parts and random scraps and broken old bottles and all sorts of things. And also the smell of intense smell of this liquid that was in these cans that I had no idea was called alcohol or beer or anything. I just was like, oh, this is that weird liquid they always drink. And as I'm in this like mesmerizing, amazing trip, whatever, I look up and there's a freaking Indian coming toward me and like, hey, and I freak out because the Indians, there was a big disagreement between the Indians, and there was a big like disconnection, kind of like a real disconnection, not SP disconnection. A real like not like connection, because the Indians had this idea like, oh great, we're renting you know, this property, this big nice beautiful piece of land to you know, a private school or whatever. And before I didn't know this until literally a year ago. It was before the kids bought it, Scientology bought it or anything. It was like it was like a nunnery or something. So it was like, had this vibe already, like, oh, okay. They just assumed like, oh, good, they'll just mind their own business, whatever. And it ended up being, oh, this is going to be the ranch, the cadet, Scientology's, you know, camp school. And then they were hearing all kinds of yelling and abuse and screaming. Even we were in the valley at the ranch. The Indians can hear kids having fuck you tantrums when they're screaming, when we would have these huge disagreements with somebody spanking the shit out of us. So the Indians call up, but the only connection would be that phone in the office. So Dan Perbilski, the ranch in charge, would pick up the phone, or he would get the or whatever, and he would run to the person screaming and like, knock that off. You like it would be like the devil walked in and was like, that's it, shut the fuck up. Like he was literally like, you're creating a PR flap for Scientology. So this was already through our brain. So when I see this Indian, I'm at the freaking dump and I'm already way beyond the ranch property, like where security would have already like killed me. I freak out and I just start running back to the ranch, like as fast as I can. And he called, the Indian, I guess, had called Kenny Campbellman, the security guard at the time, and he came on the dirt bike. And this time he was trying to be nice, I guess, probably because he wanted to make sure that probably because now that I'm thinking about it, the Indian was probably watching, like, oh, okay, I see the security guard came with the bike or whatever. And he did wave like, oh, thank you, you know. And I was kind of like, he was like, get on the bike. He was kind of nice, but stern. And I was kind of like, uh-oh, like I fucked up. That thing of me seeing the Indian, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. Because there was also this thing that had happened where there was some other kids who would run off, and some Indians that were drunk down there were like joking, maybe not joking. Like nobody does that to kids, but they were just pointing their gun at them while they're like, yeah, like making them run off and then shooting in the air and maybe shot at them, like toward them to scare them. But that's like insane intense. So I just like got that in my head and everything. And I went back and just got on the bike and went back with him back to the ranch. And then of course, immediately you get put into cleaning and heavy mess work so that you can get out of your head. And that's what it is, like you can get your attention off of what you're so upset about, basically. And also, you know, do something good. Look, you're cleaning or whatever. So I was just put to work and then put under watch, which is basically somebody watching you 24/7. So there is no outlet. What I'm getting to before I run out of time, and I want to try to keep myself in a good rhythm here every time we do this, just keep it maybe under an hour and a half tops. And I want to get to some good questions and stuff. But the whole point of this is everything here. So even in moments, I mean, you can get it. Everything's being controlled. There's camera. Physically, you cannot just call anybody. There's no way to call or do something. There is nothing. As a child, when you're in there, like Shelly and all, there's no way to do it. Your brain is not doing it. It's just not a thing. Okay. So, but for kids, definitely not a thing. We're not computer people. We don't even know what that is. And we don't know how to get in on that phone. Although there were times I definitely snuck and saw the code so that I was able to later call my mom, and she had no idea I even had permission or not. Yeah. I just didn't want to call her for N theta thing. So yeah, with all that. So, and then they wanted to keep it like the ranch, like make it feel and look PR wise, like it is a school and it is this ranch. And look, we're going to start the PR for the Indians. We're going to start having, they were having like events on the sports field where we would play soccer with the Indians. Guess what? We knew the Indians were in India. There was no like who didn't know who. We knew because they smelled so bad, like perfume, this thing that we never use or have at the ranch. We are not allowed to have, like, so they would be like, just, I remember getting huge headaches as a kid being like, God, this is like, how do they just live in this? And then sometimes our uniforms, because we were playing soccer with them or whatever, would smell. They had the Indian kids playing with the kids. So they were trying to like, oh, we'll use the kids to get along with the other kids and invite everybody for an Easter thing or whatever. I don't even know. They just made up an event and said, let's have a baseball game. And the gold PR people were, what's her name? Aldrich, or I forgot her. She has big buck teeth, like, rawr. She was like, wow, whatever. She was a PR person for Gold. She was there, like, and some other PR person, they were there. It was an issue. Like, we need to get this connect. They did a lot to try to get the Indians and the Int Ranch, you know, Scientology, whatever, to kind of go away, but that just didn't happen. Yeah, so that, and those were the moments where like, look, don't you remember? Here's this picture. You were playing soccer. You were having fun for that 30 minutes during PE time. So yeah. Okay, so I feel like this is a good time because it's been 50 minutes and I want to just kind of be good with this. You guys got the schedule. So it's work Monday through Thursday. Oh, I forgot about Friday. So Friday was graduation. This is another thing. Always copying it from the orgs and from Gold and whatever. So Friday was graduation. And at a time they had parents from Gold or executives from Gold come to the kids' graduation and like they were the guest VIP speaker. And they would do like a talk or read from what is the Scientology or put a good quote or whatever. They would do something and they were like entertaining or they were really like cool, like, thank you, sir, or whatever. And then they would go back to the Gold base. One time, I think once or twice, my dad ended up coming and like doing that as well. Something probably on ethics. I think because he was in the ethics book or whatever. So Fridays was graduation. And that was just like, so-and-so finished their communication course. So-and-so got like, so there were some things like so-and-so finished their math book 4 or math book, whatever, like, or a history thing. There was some of that because legally they found out, oh, if we're not showing that we're actually trying to teach them history of any kind or even math or something, it wasn't important. They just needed to show them that, oh, well, look, this is where they are. If child services did come. So that's another story. But so in this in campus, I want to just not get ahead of myself and I want to finish in this bubble. This is like this fucking thing over your head where you're just a bowl of this is all you know. There's no outreach for child services to come. So if child services or somebody from the outside, a reporter or anybody wants to come, which they consider reporters, SPs basically. So we didn't engage. They always let adults. So we were just like, oh, the reporters are here. And it could have been child services. And they were just coming to be like, no, we're not we're not the reporters. We're here to check on kids. We've gotten some reports about, you know, people hearing things and noises and getting reports from German reporters flying over and filming the kids digging trenches and shit. And at a certain time, we were taught a training drill. If we hear helicopters of any kind or a plane flying over, immediately run and drop your shovels and just go inside. And so it was really hard at that time for any reporter, even through an airplane over the valley, to come and get any footage. We knew how to not. We knew how to not let them get the footage. We knew, oh, those are those SPs trying to get the footage full circle. All right. So that's what I mean about that. There was no outside world to be able to help us. And there still isn't that out here. So we need the outside world. We need the outside world to come in and be like, okay, there has to be some way that we can actually come in and check if this is really happening, not. And we need to see like, oh, did they just cover it up? Or let's talk to them and see how long, you know, when's the last time you were hurt and how did that happen? And I don't know. It just, there was no deep interaction of any kind like that. Besides a once or twice services checkup when there was very extreme reports they're getting and hearing. So they come and check up and these older cadets and kids are trained to already answer the questions and the things that they're doing. There has to be some sort of psychological thing like, are you being programmed to do this? Like there was no deep city connection or, you know, input to be like, okay, we need to check on these kids. We keep getting all these reports or whatever the fuck. Anywho, so there wasn't that. And so with all of that being said, Friday, graduation. So we got that Monday through Thursday is work, basically get your stats up, finish your projects. Thursday is staff meeting. We did that as kids. I'm sure y'all have heard about the staff meetings. Thursday night was staff meetings. And Thursday before too, get all your stats up. And then the staff meeting was to show all the stats and who the flaps and handlings and what went wrong and what the next things are for the next week, the targets for the next week. And then Friday's graduation. Saturday is all day renos, work hard, get your dessert at the end and maybe some pool time. And also the Upside Award would be held either on Saturday night or Sunday. And that was if you were a good person, which I was always sneaking through the windows watching, like, and somebody like, hey, Megan's watching through the wall. I'm like, fuck you. Anywho, to the boo. So that's that. I think I got it all. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All right. I love you guys so much. Let's go through these quick questions. I'm going to zoom, and then we can see. Thank you, Alex, by the way, for helping me with my intros and all that. And all you amazing cuties that sent me some money. That was so sweet. Your little like $10, $25 PayPal. That literally got me the proper mic and things I needed to make this a little bit better and easier on me. Okay. Going down. Thank you all for joining. You guys are so great. Yes, L, if you were in the org, you definitely would have been an SP. Oh, I forgot that I can go like this. L, I think if I was in the org, I would have been an SP too. Yeah, I'm not good at following rules. She did that on purpose. She knows I would have been like, yep, you got that. Okay, let's see. Haven't finished the first one yet, but I wanted to see how they're gonna push. Oh, that's cute. That's very cute. Thank you guys. See, this is most of these are support. Let's see. Oh, here. Yes, my Mike said his nightmares went away after he wrote his book. So I think telling his story helped. I felt better this today. And I was like, you know what, Lara, just keep going. Again, I'm not here to like be judged. I'm here to put things on the record. And I'm here to be good at it. I'm not here to be like an asshole about it. I'm here to just kind of be myself and tell the story and come out with this healing, you know, and for everybody, for all of us to come out in a very, I would freaking love it if my mom and dad got out. If my mom was watching this, I would literally be like, Mom, if you left, there would be nothing that wouldn't stop me from taking care of you immediately. I don't even know if I have the capacity to do that, but I would figure it out. We have a whole community here. You know what I mean? So this is very therapeutic. It is very good. It's amazing. So that was for that one. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Likewise, I haven't finished the first one, but yes. Kat, so happy to hear. Miss the first. Oh, you guys are so cute. Okay. Important. Yes, it is important to tell this. It is sad, but it is very important to tell this. I hate that. Sorry. I hate that you went through all this, but thank you so much for yes, important. I think by telling your story, you will help. Yep. Thank you guys. LFM and gang catching up. Oh, that's so cute. I think that these live streams are going to help. Yes. An avalanche of stories coming out. Yes. Let me go back on that one. Crazy John T says, I think that these live streams are going to help create an avalanche of stories coming out. They already are. It's the thing that helped me start. I was like hearing people say the things and I was like, you know what? That's as simple as it is. We're tired of looking for platforms and then our stories being told wrong and nothing being done about it. And then people getting paid off and having beautiful little glamorous lives or whatever the fuck they're doing while there are kids literally suffering still. And then this cycle continues where future kids are going to be going through the same shit and it gets worse and worse and worse. Okay. I need to stay focused. Let's see. Yeah. When someone or a whole organization is gaslighting you, it is so important to have that voice to say, hey, no, this is what really happened. Thank you. Yep. I used to have crazy cyno dreams, nightmares, Roxy. Not anymore. Good. Let me know what you did to do that. Also owning that golden rod. Yes, Susie Q. I love that. Oops, sorry, I did something wrong right there. There you go. Okay. Yes, I'm owning that goldenrod. You guys know that the goldenrod color comes from marigold flowers, the ink from the flower petals. I'm doing a music video if you're in LA, or maybe if you have some way that we could shoot it, you know, you can get the idea of what we're doing and then have your version and we can send that footage to me from wherever you are in this color, the goldenrod. You know, not yellow. It's got to be, just look up goldenrod, just goldenrod. Okay. I'm going to make a song about it. And then the music video will go with that. So yes, definitely owning that goldenrod, beautiful ink from nature and flowers. I thought you have been absolutely exhausted from yesterday's live. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yes. And thank you for everybody who came back. This is very sweet. And for all of you new babies that entered, I bet LRH ended the week that way just to contraring. I don't know that. Okay. Yeah. But however you ended it, I'm sure I keep forgetting that L. Ron Hubbard's the one who writes all these policies and what time you're allowed to see, how long you can see that, you know, this all came from that. And then David Miscavige just made a whole little psychopath organization, intensified fucking, you know, machinery of it. That's exactly what happened. So, let's see. Even those that are not moms that want to give you a great, you are All loved and amazing. You are a hero, Lara. Thank you so much for sharing. I imagine it's tough to keep such an important story short. Sorry, I'm doing such a good job, aren't I? Thank you. Yeah, it is. And there's a lot more to come, but I do appreciate the little breaks and the little videos. So much more helpful. Roxy, it must be cathartic and therapeutic to finally get acknowledged for what happened and how you felt/feel about it. Yeah. You know, when you get acknowledged, this is the acknowledgement, the comments, the videos, the action that is happening from this, like things that are occurring because of videos and people like us doing this. That's the acknowledgement, because that's the action. It's not just like an apology with no action. It's like things are actually happening. Literally. Okay. You can find Lara's info here. Yes. Here, let me put that up. I'm getting good at this, guys. Look at this. I'm going to put my website up. You can go to my website and you can get a hold of me in all the kinds of ways there. And you can check out my videos on YouTube, and you can listen to my music and stuff all up on there. I'm getting better and better at this, you know, technology stuff, the real technology, not L. Ron Hubbard. So this is fun to do too. Okay. Sidetracks are where a lot of the best stories happen. Amazing. Oops. Love you, Lara. I'm amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I had trauma in my childhood, and the smallest things I remember are crazy. I think our brains magnified the good things to overshadow the bad. 100%. Kids are smart. This is literally 100%. I really, once you start talking about something, the images start to show, and kids see, they can hear something, and then later they think, oh, what I heard was the truth. But when you start realizing, wait a minute, my visuals of what I was seeing, the actions of what were going on are completely different than what I was hearing that I think happened my whole life. Yeah. So all that starts to come up. So yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you all. You guys are amazing. I can see something. I'm just going to shuffle through. Kids in a prison camp because of their parents' misguided decisions. Yeah, that's the truth about it. And they had great intentions. It was not, love that we get to share you. Yes, you guys are degraded daughters. If you're not following them, follow them. Hey, if you didn't like this video, I got told, hey, you got to get some likes on the videos. And I was like, oh, is that my job? No, that's your job. So make sure to like the video so that this can become an actual amazing, fun thing for me. I mean, it's already fun, but I just we want to get this exciting. Yeah, fuck yeah. I like this one. Fuck yeah, we did. Swear like motherfuckers. All right, keep it moving. What is it? The universe is like 75 trillion years old. You used to have godlike powers. Oh, and you are involved from clamps. LRH. Good one. Okay, how long? Oh, things. Okay, what's this? Amazon has enough money. If you'd like to buy Catherine Spallino's The Bad Cadet directly, email me at theonegoldie@aol.com. And we'll arrange for that. Keep more money in your author's pocket. Good call. Thank you, Goldie, so much for all your support and help. Let's see what a degraded daughter. Hey, oh, thank you. So glad. Yes, we're so excited. No. What is this? Absolutely. Scientology does not respect the arts or creative at all unless they can gain from it. They want robots. Yeah. Yep. Can't even imagine. Oh. Imagine what that would have been like, even though my father was an alcoholic and mother. Yeah. I love this, guys. Thank you. I feel like maybe, Goldie, is there any questions or anything that maybe you tagged that I need to? Do you know how bad this will make Scientology look if people hear you screaming while I beat the shit out of you? What will people think of us if they find out that you're beating? Literally. Like, so that's what it was. That was it was like, you shut it right now. It was literally so intense, and the evil, and it kind of came out of any adult. It was the same, like, you are fucking crossing the line. Like, you better shut it. You're about to create a huge it was literally like you're about to die. So you're like, oh my God, whatever's going on, it's not that big. Like, Jesus, I better shut the fuck up. Okay, moving on. Boom, boom, boom. Seriously want to know what we can do as a group to shut their illegal operation of child kidnapping and trafficking down. What we need to do is this. Everybody needs to talk about this. And then we also need the right lawyers and the right court system to bring, which is happening. There are many courts. It's just that Scientology has a lot of money from being a religion, a church. And that's kind of protecting them, and slightly, like, there's many ways that people are getting around this. So once we can get rid of their religious status, and or we can stop them from trafficking children by maybe putting a law in place where it says no kids are allowed to be, you know, shown or audited, or to me, I'm like, nobody under 21 is allowed to fucking process or do anything of Scientology. Because all of it leads into this okay idea of everything that's happening, into this structure, into this machine of trafficking, you know, and getting away with crime and murder through their own justice system. It's just, so yeah, the way we need to do that is by bringing them to court with lawyers, and the right ones who aren't there for the money, who are there to win, and who are there to help the kids through all this. And these will put laws in place eventually when these are won, for that kind of activity to stop. And if people want to do Scientology later, you're a fucking idiot, but do whatever you want. It's not on me. Oh, I need to undo that. Huh. Okay. Let's see. Boom shakalaka, guys. I think I'm going to end this off soon. Let's see. Okay, good. Yeah. Somebody said in here, Amy Scooby posted a video about what people can do. So there you go. New to tackle a tax exempt issue for a small fee, beautiful design, eye-catching postcard. Yeah. So yeah, Goldie posted it in the comments. You can see there's postcards that you can help. Lara, a member. Lara, are you a member of a performing rights organization by chance? I work as a licensed manager for ASCAP and music in the big. Yes, please. I was going to say this too. Gosh, I always forget to help me. Help me. Help me. Help you. Help me. Oh God, I can't even do that right. Yes, please. Yes, Jen. Thank you so much. And yes, double hearts, SP hearts. I really love working with a manager. I love being like, oh, you're this. So I have a good website person. She's sweet. They're sweet and they're amazing. And they're not like the best at, like, they're still learning things. And I don't mind that. I love that. I love them and they're great. I would love, yes, please hit me up. I would love to put my music that I own. I own all these music. It's me and another producer literally on each individual song that I created individually with that person. So it's super easy for me to have us go put where I would love to do that, because that would also give us a lot of money to support myself and what I want to do for my future, and to be able to feel a lot more confident and stronger about kicking Scientology's butt. So yes, thank you. Email me or whatever, lara.fm. So appreciate that. Okay. I also have a show coming up if you guys want to come, a live show. It's called LARA FM. That's the band. And the live show is at El Cid on Sunset on July 20th at 6 p.m. It's an early show. So I think I'm going to do a thing where if you are an SP or you are a kid of the cadet org or a young Scientologist that's leaving or under the radar or anything, I'm going to put something up somewhere or whatever where you'll be able to just be guest listed, or you can make a small donation if that's not the thing, and you can just be under the radar and show up. Okay, thank you. Oh, Mary Sue Hubbard. My friend Gabe always wore bright orange, and he was a similar kind of Awesome. Yeah, I know. I kind of love it. I'm just so infatuated by it. I even got my orange shopping bag. Okay, let's see. I'm skipping a line. I'm sorry. Okay, I love you guys so much. Mary Sue Hubbard. Has anyone protested Office of the WOG lawyers propping up Scientology? Like, make it uncomfortable for them? Where are the other lawyers in LA? Won't invite them to play golf anymore or whatever? Yeah, exactly. Come to your golf course at the Golden Air Productions. It took about 10. I would love to talk to you, by the way, Mary Sue Hubbard. You have a lot of very interesting, loving information about all kinds of things, and I would love to talk about that. It took about 10 years taking in shed loads of SPTV the whole time. Roxy said it took about 10 years taking in sheds of SBT. So that's the thing. I was watching Jason Begay's YouTubes. I was watching Mark Bunker's stuff. I was watching all that. The Bob Minton found, like, I was the Lisa McPherson. So that's how it started, because I worked, you know, being a messenger, shredding all the shit and for the executives while they were doing the lawsuit for Lisa McPherson in Clearwater. Yeah, let's please send the church goldenrod postcards. This would be absolutely amazing. What is this? Jazzy J. Even though I am a 62 and live in Canada, I so want to go to law school and be able to practice in the US just to help this case. Literally. Like, yes. There are lawyers. There's a lawyer on YouTube. His YouTube channel is called Your Lawyer Friend Zach. Something like that. You can definitely find him through the SPTV channel. Okay. Brian Harris said, I missed this, but I just watched the first one. So you're so cool you're doing it. Dude, you're so cool. Thank you so much for supporting. You may already be doing this, but earthing can help with anxiety and trauma. Yeah. Yep. Derp, derp, derp. You guys are so amazing. Okay, I think this will be the last one. What is it? Who watched the Surge interview yesterday? That was so powerful. It needs to be sent to all the lawmakers and law enforcement. Literally. So Serge Del Mar is a really good kid, cadet, ex-Scientologist kid, whatever, child from, you know, who was groomed from Mexico and trafficked to Clearwater and blah, 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 is so informative with Scientology information and having the therapy to kind of help people realize, like, I know you believe it like this and you probably seeing this way and you don't even know it, but I'm going to show you a different perspective. And he really does this so that, and he like does it in a way where the listener can really hear it. And he also does it in the way where lawyers and people can start to get the idea, like, why are you fucking calling a hotel a hotel? I mean, why are you calling it a church? It's not a church. It's a hotel. It's a building that looks like a hotel that has auditing and sex trafficking and bringing in human trafficking of children and kids. And then calling it, oh, this hotel and beautiful spiritual auditing thing. No, it's not. It's a fucking hotel that's running this. It's not a church. It's nothing. It's a church holding all these bases and properties under Scientology, but they're not hotels. They're auditing rooms, and they're trauma, literally mind controlling sucking machines. That's all they are. Okay. Yes, follow Serge Del Mar you can just follow. You figure it out, guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to try to do this again. I love you. You guys have all the info. Question. Wait, what is this? The statute of limitation for child abuse is as long as the victim is alive or 10 years after the event, whichever is longer. I wonder if there could be a legal case just like with Danny Masterson. The thing is that I hate to say this, but it's really hard to find evidence, especially when there's no adults talking from the ranch and the cadet orgs, and they're being flown across the country in all kinds of ways to get them out of the place or the situation where bad things were happening that they witnessed or they were a part of. And nobody's talking about it. So it's hard to even get any kind of evidence, because obviously we don't have physical evidence of this, of the children or any of this being kids who were not even allowed to like fucking eat whatever they like. They weren't even allowed to think their own thoughts. So it's hard to get evidence to prove that. And the only way we could do it is literally maybe by a class action lawsuit or something like that, which we're getting to as we're all talking about on SBTV. You can follow Aaron. I'm sure most of you are following him already, but growing up in Scientology, SPTV, et cetera, et cetera. I hope that answered your question, Jazzy J. Thank you guys so much. I will leave you with my outro video and make sure I got everything right. Whatever. Anything I didn't get, we're bringing it in to the next one. Love you. I'm going to go in and give me this. Bye.
Somebody is searching